Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। बोलो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की जय।
जय। हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन।
हाँ, बोलो श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। हरे कृष्णा तरुण।
हरे कृष्णा।
कृष्णा कैसे हो? हेलो। हरे कृष्णा
कृष्णा।
निष्ठा। कृष्णा हेलो अजय। कैसे चल रहा है तरुण और बाकी सब?
बस ठीक है। आपकी ट्रिप ठीक रही?
हाँ हाँ, I think it was great.
नाइस।
Yeah, it worked out pretty good.
गुड।
निशा सिएटल में है ना, तो लाइक
बेस हो गया।
देर तो मतलब चलो एक ट्रिप तो करते हैं।
नाइस।
So it worked out pretty good actually. अच्छा था क्रूज वगैरह सब, everything just
वेरी नाइस।
was, yeah.
अच्छा है, बच्चे दूर रहने का भी फायदा है।
हाँ. You can go and visit, right?
या उनका बेस बना के वहां से आगे जा सकते हैं।
Yeah.
गुड।
Yeah. पहले स्क्रीन दिख नहीं रही थी क्या तो?
पहले नहीं, अभी नहीं दिख रही है स्क्रीन। बीच में पहले
नहीं
शेयर
दिख
हो रही
रही
थी।
है मुझे तो।
पहले शेयर हो रही थी, अभी नहीं दिख रही है। एक सेकंड।
अभी दिख
हाँ,
रही है?
मुझे स्क्रीन
मुझे
से
तो
नहीं।
दिख रही है।
हाँ, अभी हो रही है, अभी दिख रही है।
Okay. बट पहले जब के टाइम पे दिख रही थी, राइट?
हाँ दिख रही थी।
Okay. यानी I thought I forgot to share the screen.
नहीं ये गुड।
चलो कोई नहीं, तो विल रीस्टार्ट। हाँ, कल हम लोग 8th श्लोक पढ़ रहे थे सेकंड अध्याय का। और जैसे कि सेकंड अध्याय में वी आर गोइंग टू एक्चुअली रीड ऑल देवताज स्तुति। जब भगवान कृष्ण देवकी के वंश में आते हैं तो हाउ ऑल देवताज कम टुगेदर एंड डू द स्तुति, दैट्स व्हाट दिस अध्याय इज अबाउट। और कल हम लोग श्लोक 8 पढ़ रहे थे। सेज विद इन द वॉर्म ऑफ देवकी is my partial plenary expansion known as Sankarshan or Sesh. Without difficulty, transfer him into the womb of Rohini. ये कौन बोल रहा है? Yeah, if you remember, कृष्ण भगवान
वासुदेव बोल रहे
योग माया को बता रहे हैं। सो कृष्ण भगवान योग माया, विच इज दुर्गा देवी एसेंशियली, योग माया को बोल रहे हैं कि अभी देवकी के गर्भ में शेष संकर्षण, शेषनाग विच इज बलराम, राइट? बलराम है, and he wants him to be transferred from Devki's garb to Rohini's garb. Rohini is also Vasudev's wife, but only people in jail is Rohini, Devki and Vasudev. So all the other wives of Vasudev are actually staying in Nandagaon. Okay, in Nandagaon. So that's where Rohini is, like in the previous shlok, if you remember. That's what Lord Krishna is saying, that Rohini and everyone is staying with Nanda Baba. So please transfer Baldev, right, which is Sankarshan, who was the seventh Santan of Devaki, to Rohini's garb. Okay, so that's what Krishna Bhagavan is asking Yog Maya to do. And then we are reading this purport. I think we Yeah, we'll start from here. Tarun.
Hare Krishna. A pure devotee is always transcendentally situated because of executing 9 different processes of Bhakti Yoga. Saranam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. Thus situated in devotional service, a devotee, although in the material world, is not in the material world. Yet a devotee always fears. Because I am associated with the material world, so many contaminations affect me. Therefore, he is always alert in fear, which gradually diminishes his material association. Symbolically, Mother Devaki's constant fear of Kamsa was purifying her. A pure devotee should always fear material association, and this way all the asuras of material association will be killed. As the Garbhasuras were killed by Kamsa. It is said that from the mind, Marichi appears. In other words, Marichi is an incarnation of the mind. Marichi has 6 sons: Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mada, and Matsarya. Lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and envy. The Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in pure devotional service. This is confirmed in the Vedas. Bhaktir evanam darsyati. Only bhakti can bring one in contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared from the womb of Devaki, and therefore Devaki symbolically represents bhakti, and Kamsa symbolically represents material fear. When a pure devotee always fears material association, his real position of bhakti is manifested, and he naturally becomes uninterested in material enjoyment. When the 6 sons of Marichi are killed by such fear and one is freed from material contamination, within the womb of bhakti, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears. Thus, the 7th pregnancy of Devaki signifies the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. After the 6 sons, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mada, and Matsarya are killed, the Shesha incarnation creates a suitable situation for the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, when one awakens his natural Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna appears. This is the explanation given by Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur. Hare Krishna.
Essentially, what is being mentioned is the bhakti process, right? The different process of bhakti yoga, which we have always seen, right? 9 processes: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Ishmaranam, Padsevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dashyam, Sakhyam, and Atmanivedanam. Yeah, 9 different processes of bhakti. With that bhakti, all the material contamination will go away, and then the Lord Krishna can appear, is what is mentioned here essentially. And so the 6 problems, right, like Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Mohammed, and Matsarya, have to be destroyed by bhakti, slowly and slowly, and then the appearance of Supreme Personality of Godhead will happen. Nisha?
अताहम अंश भागेन देवक्याः पुत्रतां शुभे प्राप्स्यामि त्वं यशोदायां नंदपत्न्यां भविष्यसि. All auspicious Yogamaya, I shall then appear with my full 6 appearances as the son of Devaki, and you will appear as the daughter of the mother Yashoda, the queen of Maharaj Nanda. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So Lord Krishna is telling Yogamaya, once you transfer Sankarshan, Baldev, Lord Baldev, from Devaki's garb to Rohini, then Lord Krishna himself will appear as a son of Devaki. Yeah? And again, a nice purport. So let's read this, Tarun.
The word Hamsa Bhagena is important in this verse. In Bhagavad Gita 10.42, the Lord says, Athava Bhanunetena Kim Jnanetena Tavarjuna Vistabhagyam Idam Kṛṣṇam Ekamsena Shishto Jagat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Everything is situated as a part of the Supreme Lord's potency. In regard to Lord Krishna's appearance in the womb of Devaki, Brahma played a part also because on the bank of the milk ocean, he requested the Supreme Personality of Godhead to appear. A part was also played by Baladeva, the first expansion of Godhead. Similarly, Yogamaya, who appeared as the daughter of Mother Yashoda, also played a part. Thus, Jiva Tattva, Vishnu Tattva, and Shakti Tattva are all integrated with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when Krishna appears, he appears with all his integrated parts. As explained in previous verses, Yogamaya was requested to attract Sankarsena, Baldeva, from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini, and this was a very heavy task for her. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yogamaya naturally could not see how it is possible for her to attract Shankarshan. Therefore, Krishna addressed her as Shubha, auspicious, and said, "Be blessed. Take power from me, and you will be able to do it. By the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, anyone can do anything, for the Lord is present in everything. All things being his parts and parcel, ansha bhagena, and increasing or decreasing by his supreme will." Balram was only 15 days older than Krishna. By the blessings of Krishna, Yogamaya became the daughter of Mother Yashoda, but by the supreme will she was not able to enjoy the parental love of her father and mother. Krishna, however, although not actually born from the womb of Mother Yashoda, enjoyed the parental love of Mother Yashoda and Nanda. By the blessing of Krishna, Yogamaya was able to achieve the reputation of being daughter of Mother Yashoda, who also became the famous by the blessings of Krishna. Yashoda means one who gives fame. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Chishyanti manushastvam sarva kamerve ishwarim dhupopahar bali bhi hai sarva kamvar pradam. By sacrifices of animals, ordinary human beings will worship you gorgeously with various paraphernalia, because you are supreme in fulfilling the material desires of everyone. Right? So Yogamaya fulfills the material desires of everyone, as you know. Nisha?
नामधेयानि कुर्वन्ति स्थानानि च नरा भुवि दुर्गेति भद्रकालीति विजया वैष्णवीति च कुमुदा चंडिका कृष्णा माधवी कन्यकेति च माया नारायणी शानी शारदेत अंबिकेति. Lord Krishna blessed Maya Devi by saying in different places on the surface of the earth, "People will give you different names such as Durga, Bhadrakali, Vijaya, Vaishnavi, Kumuda, Chandika, Krishna, Madhavi, Kanyaka, Maya, Narayani, Ishani, Sharada, and Ambika." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So as we know, Durga, which is the Prakriti already, right, has all these names, right? Read again, nice purport, Tarun.
Because Krishna and his energy appeared simultaneously, people have generally formed two groups, the Saktas and the Vaishnavas, and sometimes there is rivalry between them. Essentially, those who are interested in material enjoyment are Saktas, and those interested in spiritual salvation and attaining the spiritual kingdom are Vaishnavas. Because people are generally interested in material enjoyment, they are interested in worshipping Maya Devi, the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vaishnavas, however, are Suddha Saktas or pure Bhaktas because the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra indicates worship of the Supreme Lord's energy, Hara. A Vaishnava prays to the energy of the Lord for the opportunity to serve the Lord along with his spiritual energy. Thus, Vaishnavas all worship such deities as Radha Krishna, Sita Ram, Lakshmi Narayana, and Rukmini Dwarkadhisha, whereas Durga Saktas worship the material energy under different names. The names by which Maya Devi is known in different places have been listed by Vallabhacharya as follows. In Varanasi, she is known as Durga. In Avanti, she is known as Bhadrakali. In Orissa, she is known as Vijaya. And in Kalhapura, she is known as Vaishnavi or Mahalakshmi. The representatives of Mahalakshmi and Ambika are present in Bombay. In the country known as Kamarupa, she is known as Chandika. In northern India as Sharda, and in Cape Comorin as Kanyaka. Thus, she is distributed according to various names in various places. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So as you know, Mother Chandika, known with so many names, right? Of course. Nisha.
Srila Vijayadvaja Tirthapada, in his Pada Ratnavali Tika, has explained the meanings of the different representations. Maya is known as Durga because she is approached with great difficulty, as Bhadra because she is auspicious, and Kali because she is deep blue. Because she is the most powerful energy, she is known as Vijaya. Because she is one of the different energies of Vishnu, she is known as Vaishnavi. And because she enjoys in this material world and gives facilities for material enjoyment, she is known as Kumud. Because she is very severe to her enemies, the Asuras, and she is known as Chandika. And because she gives all sorts of material facilities, she is called Krishna. In this way, the material energy is differently named and situated in different places on the surface of the globe. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. गर्भ संकर्षणात् तम वे प्राहुः संकर्षणं भुवि रामेति लोकरमनाद बलभद्रं बलोच्छयात्. The son of Rohini will also be celebrated as Sankarshan because of being sent from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. He will be called Ram because of his ability to please all the inhabitants of Gokul, and he will be known as Balbhadra because of his extensive physical strength. Yeah? That's what is known for Baldev. Tarun?
These are some of the reasons why Balram is known as Sankarsana. Balram or sometimes Ram, Balrama or sometimes Rama. In the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. People sometimes object when Rama is accepted as Balram. But although devotees of Lord Rama may object, they should know that there is no difference between Balrama and Lord Rama. Here, Srimad Bhagavatam clearly states that Balram is also known as Rama, Rameti. Therefore, it is not artificial for us to speak of Lord Balram as Lord Rama. Jayadev Goswami also speaks of the three Ramas, Parshurama, Raghupati Rama, and Balram. All of them are Ramas.
Nisha?
Sandishtavam Bhagavata Tathethyoamiti tad तद्धचः रतिगुह्य परिक्रम्य गाम गता तथा करोत्. Thus instructed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yogamaya immediately agreed. With the Vedic mantra Om, she confirmed that she would do what he asked. Thus, having accepted the order of Supreme Personality of Godhead, she circumambulated him and started for the place on earth known as Nanda Gokul. There she did everything just as she had been told. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So Yogamaya, after circumambulating Lord Krishna, right, she comes to Nanda Gokul, and then she was asked to move Sankarshan from womb of Devaki to womb of Rohini.
Rohini.
Yeah, as we know, Rohini was then known as mother of Lord Balram. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Ajay.
Hare Krishna. गर्भे प्रणीते देवक्या रोहिणीं योग निद्रया अहो विस्त्रंसितो गर्भ इति पौराग विचुकृषः. When the child of Devaki was attracted and transferred into the womb of Rohini by Yogamaya, Devaki seemed to have a miscarriage. Thus all the inhabitants of the palace loudly lamented, "Alas, Devaki has lost her child." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Arun?
Should I read?
Yeah.
Bhagavan api Vishwatma Bhaktanam Abhayankara Aviveshamsa Bhagena Mana Anaka Dundubhehe. Thus the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the super soul of all living entities and who vanquishes all the fear of his devotees, entered the mind of Vasudeva in full opulence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, of course, he is known as Bhagwan. He is known as Vishwatma, right? He removes all the fears of all his devotees, right? Then he entered the mind of Vasudeva in full opulence. Sabidhat Porusham Dham Bhrajimano Yatharavi Durasado Atir Dhurdarsho Bhutanam Sambhuva. While carrying the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead within the core of his heart, Vasudeva bore the Lord's transcendentally illuminating effulgence, and thus he became as bright as the sun. He was therefore very difficult to see or approach through sensory perception. Indeed, he was unapproachable and unperceivable, even for such formidable men as Kans, and not only for Kans, but for all living entities. So, as what is mentioned is, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead entered into his mind, he became shining like Ravi, right? Like the sun, and no one else could approach him. Again, a nice purport. So let's read this. Nisha?
The word dharma is significant. Dharma refers to the place where the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Dhamma. The word dhamma is significant. Dhamma refers to the place where the Supreme Personality of Godhead resides. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.1, it is said, Dhamana svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimadi. In the abode of Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no influence of material energy. Dhamana svena sada nirasta kuhakam. Any place where the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present by the name, form, qualities, or paraphernalia immediately becomes a dham. For example, we speak of Vrindavan Dham, Dwarka Dham, and the Mathura Dham because in these places the name, fame, qualities, and paraphernalia of the Supreme Godhead are always present. Similarly, if one who is empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to do something, the core of his heart becomes Dham, and thus he becomes so extraordinarily powerful that not only his enemies but also people in general are astonished to observe his activities. Because he is unapproachable, his enemies are simply struck with wonder, as explained here by the words Durasado Tidudharsha. The words Purusama Dhama have been explained by various acharyas. Sri Viragraha Acharya says that these words refer to effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vijay Dhwaja says that this signify Vishnu Tejas, and Sukhdev says Bhagavat Swarupa. The Vaishnav Tosani says these words indicate the influence of the Supreme Lord's effulgence, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that they signify the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what is described is how does it feel, how does it look when Supreme Personality of Godhead appears within, yeah, by the Bhakti Yoga, is what is mentioned. Hare Krishna. Rasiksha Prabhu ji.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna पढ़ेंगे.
ततो जगमंगलम अच्युतम समाहितम सुरसुतेन देवी तधार सर्वात्मकमात्मभूतं काष्ठां यथानंदकरं मनसस्तः, accompanied by plenary expansion, the fully opulent Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is all auspicious for the entire universe, was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to the mind of Devaki. Devaki, having thus been initiated by Vasudeva, become beautiful by carrying Lord Krishna, the Supreme Original Consciousness, for everyone, the cause of all causes, being the core of her heart, just as the east becomes beautiful by carrying the rising moon. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So this is how from Vasudev's mind, right, the Lord Krishna was transferred to Devaki's mind, and Devaki became like what is described is Devaki became so beautiful, like the east becomes beautiful by carrying the rising moon at that point in time. And a very nice purport. So let's read this.
As indicated here by the word Manasata, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was transferred from the core of Vasudeva's mind or heart to the core of the heart of Devaki. We should note carefully that the Lord was transferred to Devaki not by the ordinary way for a human being, but by Diksha, initiation. Thus, the importance of initiation is mentioned here. Unless one is initiated by the right person, who always carries within his heart the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot acquire the power to carry the Supreme Godhead within the core of one's own heart. The word Achyutam Sham is used because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Sad Aishwarya Purna, full in the opulences of wealth, strength, fame, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation. The Supreme Godhead is never separated from his personal opulences. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, 5.39. Ramadi Murtisu Kala Niyamena Tistham. The Lord is always situated with all his plenary expansions, such as Rama, Narsimha, and Varaha. Therefore, the word Achyutam Sam is specially used here, signifying that the Lord is always present with his plenary expansions and opulences. There is no need to think of the Lord artificially as yogis do. Dhyana vasthita tad gatena manasa pasyanti yam yogina. Bhagavatam 12.13.1. Yogis meditate upon the Supreme Personality person within the mind. For a devotee, however, the Lord is present and his presence need only be awakened through initiation by a bona fide spiritual master. The Lord did not need to live within the womb of Devaki, for his presence within the core of her heart was sufficient to carry him. One is here forbidden to think that Krishna was begotten by Vasudeva within the womb of Devaki and that she carried the child within her womb. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ajay? Ajay?
When Vasudeva was sustaining the form of Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, he appeared just like the glowing sun, whose shining rays are always unbearable and scorching to the common man. The form of the Lord situated in the pure unalloyed form heart of Vasudeva is not different from the original form of Krishna. The appearance of the form of Krishna anywhere and specifically within the heart is called Dhamma. Dhamma. Dhamma refers only to Krishna's form, but to his name, his form, his quality, and his paraphernalia. Everything becomes manifest simultaneously. Thus, the eternal form, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with full potencies, was transferred from the mind of Vasudeva to the mind of Devaki, exactly as the setting sun's rays are transferred to the full moon rising in the east. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, entered the body of Devaki from the body of Vasudeva. He was beyond the condition of the ordinary living entity. When Krishna is there, it is to be understood that all his plenary expansions, such as Narayan and incarnations like Lord Narasimha and Varaha, are with him, and they are not subject to the condition of material existence. In this way, Devaki became the residence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is one without a second and the cause of all creation. Devaki became the residence of Absolute Truth, but because she was within the house of Kams, she looked like suppressed fire or like misused education. When fire is covered by the walls or if a pot or is kept in a jug, the illuminating rays of the fire cannot be very much appreciated. Similarly, misused knowledge which does not benefit the people in general is not very much appreciated. So Devaki was kept within the prison walls of Kam's place, and no one could see her transcendental beauty, which resulted from her conceiving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Commenting upon this verse, Sri Viragava Acharya writes, Vasudeva Devaki Jatharyor Hridayayor Bhagavata Sambandha. The Supreme Lord's entrance into the womb of Devaki's from the heart of Vasudeva was a heart-to-heart relationship. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what is described is how Lord Krishna gets into Devaki's womb. Yeah. Nisha?
ता देवकी सर्वजगन्निवास निवासभूता नितरां रेजे भोजेन्द्र गेहे अग्निशिखेव रुद्धा सरस्वती ज्ञानकले यथा सती. Devaki then kept within herself the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the foundation of of the entire cosmos. But because she was under arrest in the house of Kansa, she, she was like the flames of fire by the walls of a pot, or like a person who has knowledge but cannot distribute it to the world for the benefit of human society. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? And Lord Krishna here is described as Sarva Jaga Nivas, Nivas Bhuta. Yeah? He is like the foundation of the entire cosmos, cause of all causes. Yeah, that's how Lord Krishna is described in this. Shiksha Prabhu?
ताम वीक्ष्य कंसः प्रभयाजितान्द राविरोचयन्तीं भवनसु शुचिस्मिताम् अहेष मे हेरो प्राणहरो हरिगुरोर्हं ध्रुवं श्रुतो यन्न पुरो यमीदृशिः. Because the Supreme Personality of Godhead was within her womb, Devaki illuminated in the entire atmosphere in the place where she was confined. Seeing her jubilant, pure, and smiling, comes thought, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who is now within her, will kill me. Devaki has never before looked so brilliant and jubilant. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? So Devaki is shining so much that Kans actually starts thinking that she actually has a Lord Vishnu now. Yeah? किमद्य तस्मिन् करिणेयमाशु मेयदर्थ तंत्रो न विहन्ति विक्रमम् स्त्रियाः स्वसु गुरुमत्या वधो अयंयंश श्रियम् हत्यनु कालमायु. Kans thought, what is my duty now? The Supreme Lord, who knows his purpose, will not give his prowess. Devaki is a woman. She is my sister. And moreover, she is now pregnant. If I kill her, my reputation, opulence, and duration of life will certainly be vanquished. So this is how Kans is thinking, that if he now kills Devaki, then everything of his will be vanquished. Can a nice purport in this term?
According to Vedic principles, a woman, a brahmana, an old man, a child, and a cow should never be killed. It appears that Kans, although a great enemy of the Supreme Person of Godhead, was aware of the Vedic culture and conscious of the fact that the soul transmigrates from one body to another and that one suffers in the next life according to the karmas of this life. Therefore, he was afraid of killing Devaki. Since she was a woman, she was his sister, and she was pregnant. A Kshatriya becomes famous by performing heroic acts. But what would be heroic about killing a woman who, while confined in his custody, was under his shelter? Therefore, he did not want to act drastically by killing Devaki. Kansa's enemy was within Devaki's womb, but killing an enemy in such a nascent state would not be an exhibition of prowess. According to Kshatriya rules, enemies should be fought face to face and with proper weapons. Then if the enemy is killed, the victor becomes famous. Kamsa, sorry, I'm not able to see because the video is covering. Sorry, thank you. Kansa very conscientiously deliberated upon these facts and therefore refrained from killing Devaki, although he was completely confident that his enemy had already appeared within her womb. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Kans realizes that Lord Vishnu has appeared in Devaki's womb, but he is debating and then decides not to kill Devaki. Nisha?
स एष जीवन खलु संपरेतो वर्तेत यो अत्यंत नृशंसितेन देहे मृते तम मनुजाः शपन्ति गन्ता तमो अंधम तनुमानिनो ध्रुवम. A person who is very cruel is regarded as dead even while living. For while he is living or after his death, everyone condemns him. And after the death of a person, in the bodily concept of life, he is undoubtedly transferred to the hell known as Adhat, Adhatma.
Andhatama. Andhatama.
Andhat.
अजय
Kans considered that if he killed his sister while living, he would be condemned by everyone, and after death he would go to the darkest region of hellish life because of his cruelty. It is said that a cruel person like a butcher is advised not to live and not to die. While living, a cruel person creates a hellish condition for his next birth, and therefore he should not live. But he is also advised not to die because after death he must go to the darkest region of hell. Thus, in either circumstances, he is condemned. Kans, therefore, having good sense about the science of soul's transmigration, deliberately refrained from killing Devaki. In this verse, the words Ganta Tamo Nadham Tanu Manino Dhruvam are very important and require extensively understanding. Srila Jiva Goswami, in his Vaishnava Tasantika, says Tatra Tanu Manina Papina iti Dehatma Buddhavya Papa Bhini Vesu Bhavati. One who lives in the bodily concept, thinking I am the body, I am this body, involves himself by the very nature of this conception in a life of sinful activities. Anyone living in such a conception is to be considered a candidate for hell. Adant Gabhir Adant Gobhir Visatam Tamishram Punah Punaz Chavita Charvanam. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Nisha.
One who is in bodily concept of life has no control over sense gratification. Such a person can do anything sinful to eat, drink, be merry, and enjoy life of sense gratification, not knowing of the soul's transmigration from one body to another. Such a person does whatever he likes, whatever he imagines, and therefore being subject to the laws of nature. He suffers miserably again and again in different material bodies. Yavat kriyas tavad idam mano vai karmatmakam yena sarira bandha. Bhagavad Gita 5.5.5. In the bodily concept of life, a person is karma anubandha and or conditioned by karma, and as long as the mind is absorbed in karma, one must accept a material body. Sharira bandha, bondage to the material body, is source of misery. Kleshadda. Na sadhu manye yata atmano yama asan api kleshada asa deha. Bhagavad Gita 5.5.4. Although the body is temporary, it always gives one trouble in many ways. But human civilization is now unfortunately based on tanumani, the bodily concept of life by which one thinks, I belong to the nation, I belong to this group, I belong to that group, and so on. Each of us has his own ideas, and we are becoming increasingly involved individually, socially, communally, and nationally in the complexities of the karma anubandhana, sinful activities for the maintenance of the body men are killing so many other bodies and becoming implicated in karma anubandha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. शिक्षा बोल.
Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami says that Tanu Mani, those in the body concept of life are papi, sinful person. For such sinful person, the ultimate distinction is the darkest region of the hellish life. Ganta Tamo Andham. In the particular, a person who wants to maintain his body by killing animals is most sinful and cannot understand the value of a spiritual life. In Bhagavad Gita 16.19-20, the Lord says, Tan aham devastah kurunam samasaro nirandhana Kṛṣṇam ajam avisun drishyam eva yonisu asuram yanim apana madha janani janmani mama aprapya kaunteya tat yunta adham gatim. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life, attaining repeated birth among the species of demoniac life. Such a person can never approach me. Gradually, thus sink down to the most abominable type of existence. A human being is meant to understand the value of human life, which is boon obtained after many births. Therefore, one must free oneself from the Tanu Mani, the bodily concept of life, and realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What is essentially mentioned here is a human being is meant to understand the value of human life, because you get this human life after many births, right? This is what we have read everywhere. And after so many births, who knows, thousands of years, thousands and thousands of years, we are getting this human body, which gives us a chance to engage in the devotional service, like all the Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting, right? And that's the way one can realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead and then get out of this whole dark cycle of birth and death and old age and disease, right? Is what is mentioned. Iti ghoratmad bhavat sannivritah swayam prabhu aste pratikshangsta janma harer veranu bandhakrita. Sukdev Goswami said, deliberating in this way, Kans, although determined to continue in enmity towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, refrained from the vicious killing of his sister. He decided to wait until the Lord was born and then do what was needed, right? So that's why Kans did not kill Devaki. Tarun?
Asina Savishansthitashtana Bhujanam Paryatam Mahim Chintayano Rishikesha Paschatya Tanmayam Jagata. Was sitting on his throne or in his sitting room, while lying on his bed, or indeed while situated anywhere, and while eating, sleeping, or walking, Kamsa saw only his enemy, the Supreme Lord, Rishikesh. In other words, by thinking of his all-pervading enemy, Krishna became unfavorably Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So even though he was not thinking in favorable terms, he kind of became Krishna conscious unfavorably, because he kept thinking about Krishna every time. Rishikesham Pashat. Tanmayam Jagat, like every time, right? Eating, sleeping, he's thinking about only Krishna because now he's scared that Krishna is going to kill him. Right? Get a nice purport. Let's read this. Ajay.
Srila Rupa Goswami has described the finest pattern of devotional service as Anukulena Kṛṣṇa Asunlinisnam, or cultivating Krishna consciousness favorably. Kans, of course, was also Krishna conscious, but because he regarded Krishna as his enemy, even though he was fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, his Krishna consciousness was not favorable to his existence. Krishna consciousness favorably cultivated makes one completely happy, so much that a Krishna conscious person does not consider Kavalya Sukham, or merging into the existence of Krishna, to be a great gain. Kavalyam Narakete. For a Krishna conscious person, even emerging the existence of Krishna or Brahman as impersonalists aspire to do, is uncomfortable. Kavalyam Narakete Tridasa Par Akash Pushpayate. Karmis hanker to be promoted to the heavenly planets, but a Krishna conscious person considers such a promotion of will-o'-the-wisp good for nothing. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See, what is described is basically how a Krishna conscious person, like a devotee, and if somebody is in the knowledge, meditation, and they try to do the self-realization, they can be promoted to the higher planets, but to go back to the Godhead, the devotional service is the only way, right? Is what is mentioned here. Nisha?
ब्रह्मा भवश्च तत्रैत्य मुनि मुनिभिर्नारदादिभिः दैवैः सानुचरैः साकं गिरिभिर्विष्णुमेडियन्. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, accompanied by the great sages like Narad, Devala and Vyas, and by other demigods like Indra, Chandra, and Varun, invisibly approached to the room of Devaki, where they all joined in offering their respectful obeisances and prayers to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can bestow blessing upon everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so then what happens is Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, right? He says Brahma, Bhavascha is Lord Shiva, Tatreya Muni bhi Narad, yeah, Narad and all the Muni Rishis, along with all the Devatas, Deveha, along with their Anucharyas, they approach the room of Devaki, and where they all join in offering the respectful obeisances to Lord Shri Krishna. Read this clearly. Tarun? Tarun? Okay, Rasiksha Prabhu?
Do bhuta sarga loke samin deva asura evacha Padma Puran. There are two classes of men, devas and asuras, and there is a great difference between them. Kans, being as asur, was always planning how to kill the supreme personality of Godhead or his mother Devaki. Thus, he was also Krishna conscious, but devotee are Krishna conscious favorably. Vishnu Bhakta Smarto Devaha. Brahma is so powerful that he is in charge of creating an entire universe. Yet the personally he personally come to receive the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhava, the Lord Shiva, is always jubilant in chanting the holy name of the Lord. And what to speak the Narad Muni Bhajya Vina Radhika Raman Name. Narad Muni Bhajaye Vina Radhika Raman Name. Narad Muni is the always chanting the glories of the Lord, and his engagement is to travel all over the universe and find the devotee or make someone a devotee. Even a hunter was made devotee by the grace of Narad. Srila Sanatan Goswami in his Tosni says that the word Narad Abhiya means that Narad and the demigod were accompanied by other saintly person like Sanak and Sanatan, all of whom come together congratulate or welcome to Supreme Personality of Godhead, even though Kams was planning to kill Devaki. He too waited and the arrival of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Prati Kamsa Taj Janam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Tarun, you are there?
Yeah. Satyavratam Satyaparam Satyam Satyasya Yanim Nihitam Cha Satye Satyasya Satyam Vrata Satya Netram Satyatam Makam Tvam Sarvanam Prapnaha. The demigods prayed, "O Lord, you never deviate from your view, vow, which is always perfect, because whatever you decide is perfectly correct and cannot be stopped by anyone. Being present in the three phases of cosmic manifestation, creation, maintenance, and annihilation, you are the supreme truth. Indeed, unless one is completely truthful, one cannot achieve your favor, which therefore cannot be achieved by hypocrites. You are the active principle, the real truth in all the ingredients of creation, and therefore you are known as Antaryami, the inner force. You are equal to everyone, and your instructions apply for everyone for all time. You are the beginning of all truth. Therefore, offering our obeisances, we surrender unto you. Kindly give us protection. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So what we are seeing now is all the Devatas, along with Narad Muni and all the Rishi Munis, of course, along with Lord Brahma and even Lord Shiva, they all come to the Devaki's room, and they are now starting the glorification of Lord Sri Krishna. Right? So they started doing it. We are going to pause here, and then we are continuing to read these prayers on Monday. Yeah. And meanwhile, let's we are going to hear this whole stuti, which was done. It's around 3 to 4 minutes sung by Ramesh Bhai Ojha. Yeah. So let's hear that. It's around 4 minutes. You can see it, right?
Yeah.
सत्यव्रतं सत्यपरं त्रिसत्यं सत्यस्य योनिं निहितं च सत्ये सत्यस्य सत्यामृतसत्यनेत्रं सत्यात्मकं त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना एकायनोऽसौ द्विफलस्त्रिमूलश्चतुरसः पञ्चविधः षडात्मा सप्तत्वगष्टविटपो नवाक्षो दशच्छति द्विखगो ह्यादिवृक्षः त्वमेक एवास्य सतप्रसूतिस्त्वं सन्निधानं त्वं त्वमनुग्रहश्च
त्वन्मायया संवृतचेतसस्त्वां पश्यन्ति नानान विपश्चितो ये
विभर्षिरूपाण्यवबोध आत्मा क्षेमाय लोकस्य चराचरस्य
सत्त्वोपपन्नानि सुखावहानि सताम भद्राणि मुहुःखलानां
त्वय्यम्बुजाक्षाखिलसत्त्वधाम्नि समाधिनावेशितचेतसैके
त्वत्पादयोः कुर्वन्ति गोवत्सपदं भवाब्धिम्
स्वयं समुत्तीर्य सुदुस्तरं द्युमन् भवार्णवं भीममदभ्रसौहृदाः
भवत्पदाम्भोरुहनागमत्र ते निधाय याता सदनुग्रहो भवान्
येन्येरविन्दाक्षविमुक्तमानिनस्त्वय्यस्तभावादविशुद्धबुद्धयः
आरुह्य कृच्छ्रेण परं पदं ततः पतन्त्यधोनानृतयुष्मदङ्घ्र्यः
तथा न ते माधव तावकाः क्वचिद् भ्रश्यन्ति मार्गात् त्वयि बद्धसौहृदाः
त्वया विगुप्ता विचरन्ति निर्भया विनायकानीकपदुर्वसुप्रभो
सत्वं विशुद्धं श्रयते भवान् स्थितौ शरीरिणां श्रेय उपायनं वपुः
वेदक्रियायोगतपःसमाधिभिस्तवार्हणं येन जनः समीहते
सत्वं न चेद्धातरिदं निजं भवेत् विज्ञानमज्ञानभिदापमार्जनम्
गुणप्रकाशैरनुमीयते भवान् प्रकाशते यस्य च येन वा गुणः
न नामरूपे गुणजन्मकर्मभिर्निरूपितव्ये तव तस्य साक्षिणः
मनोवचोभ्यामनुमेयवर्त्मनो देवक्रियायां व्रतयन्त्यथापि
शृण्वन् गृह्णन् संस्मरयंश्च चिन्तयन् नामानि रूपाणि च मङ्गलानि ते
क्रियासु यस्त्वच्चरणारविन्दयोराविष्टचेता न भवाय कल्पते
दिष्ट्या हरेस्या भवतः पदो भुवो भारोपनीतस्तव जन्मनेशितुः
दिष्ट्याङ्कितां त्वत्पदकैः सुशोभनैर्द्रक्ष्यामगाम्द्यां च तवानुकम्पिताम्
न ते भवस्येष भवस्य कारणं विना विनोदं बत तर्कयामहे
भवो निरोधस्थितिरप्यविद्यया कृता यतस्त्वय्यभवाश्रयात्मनि
मत्स्याश्वकच्छप नृसिंहवराह हंस राजन्यविप्रविबुधेषु कृतावतारः
त्वं पासिनस्त्रिभुवनं च यथा दुनीश भारं भुवो हरयदुत्तमवन्दनन्ते
दिष्ट्याम्बते कुक्षिगतः परः पुमानंशेन साक्षात् भगवान् भवायनः
मा भूद्भयं भोजपतिर्मुमूर्षोर्गुप्ता यदूनां भविता तवात्मजः
बोलो श्री राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय. So Monday we will read this whole stuti with all the meanings and everything. Yeah. So I mean, this is the nice time where Lord Krishna has entered into Devaki's womb and all devatas are doing the glorification of Lord Shri Krishna. Meanwhile, have a nice weekend and we'll see you back on Monday. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare.